Drummond, Woodson, and Portsmouth. We represent about 90 school districts in New Hampshire, and I'm one of the lawyers in that law firm who handles student rights issues, including special education. I've been doing special education law since 1978 when the federal statute, now known as the IDEA, became effective. I'm testifying here today on a pro bono basis. That's why I'm not wearing a lobbyist badge. For the last several years, every time I come to the legislature to testify before a committee is done on a pro bono basis. Working with the New Hampshire Association of Special Education Administrators. I have one more anecdote to give you before I delve into what I think are some of the overarching legal issues, because after all, you're here to look at whether the law should be changed, so perhaps I can contribute something by illustrating one more actual practical problem and then making some suggestions about what the problems might be in the current law and how we could rectify them. This anecdote just came in yesterday, and it was involved a child who had a brain cancer, very terrible situation, a third grader, and his parents chose to enroll him in a Montessori charter school. And the district believes that school is utterly inappropriate for him, but the parents have decided to keep him there. And according to my client, the reason why is because the parents wanted the younger sibling to attend, and if this older one with the brain cancer attended, then the younger sibling could attend without having to go through the lottery. Okay. And it is more convenient for the parents because they can simultaneously drive both students to that same charter school. But this child has mobility problems, he's in a walker, and this charter school structure has a lot of clutter on the floor. More clutter, much more clutter than a regular school would be. It's a Montessori school and it's part of their style. Nothing wrong with that, but this child, according to the charter school, is at risk of falling on the clutter on the floor. He's using a walker, and because of his brain cancer, his mobility and balance are impaired. So what the charter school is asking the district to do is to provide a full-time paraprofessional for that student at the charter school. Now, if the student were in a public school, there would be a floating para in the classroom who could assist the student when necessary during transition from class to class or during the transition to the bathroom or for lunch. Wouldn't have to be a one-on-one full-time para. And if the child were in a public school, the floor wouldn't be cluttered because the public school had a different kind of a structure to its environment. So this illustrates two kinds of cases. Number one, where the charter school is utterly inappropriate, which is the extreme case of it. It's a kind of case where the statute says the district must ensure that the child receives a FAPE at the charter school, and yet that's an impossible task. But this also bleeds into a more common situation where, yes, it may be possible to provide a FAPE at the charter school, an appropriate education, but it's much more expensive for the district to do that at the charter school than to do it in its own public schools because of what we refer to as the economies of scale. If there's one child at the charter school who needs a para, then the district has to hire one para for one student. But if there is a public school classroom with multiple students who need the assistance of a floating para, then the district can distribute the cost of that one para among multiple students so that each student's average per pupil cost is lower.
Could I just interject,
yes.
Attorney? What is in the best interest of the child? I'm assuming this child is on a 504 plan?
No, special ed eligible.
He's on IEP, on an IEP. And what has been determined as part of the IEP process for the best placement for the child?
Well, the problem is that the way the statute, the New Hampshire statute is written, that's an irrelevant question. The way the New Hampshire statute is written, well, let me put it this way.